Alright, welcome everybody. Um, Hope everyone's having a good day. Good morning. It is Sunday, February 9th, and it's a little over 6 a.m. Again, had problems with my um, camera, so I haven't got that figured out. I should have done a little more. I should have done a little more research on that, but I want to hope everyone's having a good day, and let's get going. So let me just real quick. Don't know what that is, but it's okay. All right. All right, everybody, let's get going. Um, Having some technical difficulties. I'll get it right, whatever. Okay, so this is our series on finding the right contractors. My name is Joe, and I am your host. So this is to help people find the right contractors here in Florida. Um, so this is the third the video in the series, um, and let's get started. So the last two we just went over some brief introductions, and the last one we went over what letting people know that there are rules for the construction here in Florida. So let's go. So again, this is not legal advice. I'm not a lawyer, just an electrician in my fields about crappy contractors who take advantage of the public with an extra time on my hands. If you need legal advice, get it from ChatGTP like the rest of us. No, no. Seriously, get it from a lawyer. So contact a lawyer. So because we are dealing with Florida statutes, so technically these are laws. And I have to say, I'm not a lawyer. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. Section 1. Why understanding contracting laws is important. Let me just share this video too. Get on here. Give you guys time to take a break. All right. So, give you guys time to get your coffee. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. How do I share this? Share now. No. Do do do. Here we go. Here we go. There we go. Now we're sharing. Like I said, it's just me, so cut me some slack. Don't hit me too hard. All right. Okay, why this is important. Protects homeowners and contractors. The law sets clear guidelines to protect both parties and help prevent disputes. Ensures quality of work. Florida's regulations are designed to promote safe, high quality construction practices. Avoids legal pitfalls. Understanding the laws help you avoid common legal issues that could derail your project. Okay, this is the statutes that go that that or the Florida laws that says on contracting. Okay, so Section 489 of the Florida statute is the primary legal framework that regulates who can work as a contractor in the state. It outlines the licensing requirements for the general, building, residential, and specialty contractors, ensuring they meet minimum standards of education, experience, and financial stability. That's an important one. So, one of the main reasons why I am so particular about being licensed is there are a lot of uh, really good tradesmen out there. They've been doing it a long time. You know, doesn't mean that they don't know what they're doing or they don't know how to build something. But what it does mean is they may not know all of the they may not know all of the like workers' comp laws, and then the liability laws, and the you know laws that require how to deal with contracts, things like that. That's why it's so important to hire a licensed contractor, because the state, we're going to go through all this, the state covers all that. Okay, they make sure that the person that you're contracting with, going under contract, has been vetted, knows what they're doing, and has financial responsibility. Consumer protection. When a contractor is licensed, homeowners have assurances of proper training, and insurance coverage. If something goes wrong, a safety hazard, code violation, or faulty work, there are established dispute resolution processes through the Florida Department of Business and Federal Regulation, DBPR. Okay? Quality and safety. Section 49 helps maintain consistent level of workmanship and compliance with the Florida Building Code. This reduces the risk of hazardous construction practices, ensuring safer structures for families and communities. Okay? Enforcement and accountability. The statute provides legal consequences for unlicensed contracting and holds licensed professionals accountable if they fail to follow regulations. Penalties can include fines, license suspensions, revocations, which encourages ethical and lawful conduct. So this is the importance. If as a homeowner, if you get in go into go under a contract or hire an unlicensed contractor, the state doesn't recognize it, and um, you lose benefits that the state has. So we're just going to go here, this online. Um, this should open up here. I don't know why it didn't. So let's go this real quick. Okay, this should open up here. Okay, now let's go back to here. I tested this. Okay, so let's test that again. There we go. It's going to open up there. We're going to hit back. Okay, so here's the online sunshine. You can look up these statutes. You're not gonna, but you can. Okay, so just do a Google search for online sunshine, and 489 is all of the constructions. I'm going to put these links in the video after we're done, um, to make sure. Okay, all right. that you guys know where they are. But this is a lot of mumble jumbo that you might not understand. I hardly do. It's confusing for me, and I took tests on it and studied it and had classes on it. Okay? So, Online Sunshine is a place where you can go to look at the laws. All right? So, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so here's the thing. This gets a little muddy, but I want you guys to pay attention. Exemptions. Who doesn't need a license? Okay? So there are key sections, right, in Chapter 49 to be aware of, along with the brief explanation. So sections 489, 103 are exemptions. List specific scenarios in which a person or business may perform certain work without a contractor's license, i.e., small repairs not requiring a permit. Important for homeowners to understand when a handyman can legally do certain tasks. So, to boil this down, minor cosmetic work does not require a license. Okay, so that's things like your tile guy and your cabinet guy and your painter, right? That's pretty much all it boils down to. But, you know, when the scope gets larger, when there's a wall being built, things like that, you're getting into licensed work. And that's not to say that the person that comes out and does, installs your cabinets or does your tile work can't put up a wall. We're not saying that. He probably can and probably can do it well. But what I am saying is that if you hire those people to go outside of those scopes, those minor repairs, cosmetic things, non-structural stuff, um, the state isn't going to have the protection set. That person that isn't licensed doing going outside their scope, the state isn't, if there's a problem, if everything goes smooth, no problem, boom. But when that person does some damage or does something that, you know, initiates, a code violation, or uh, let's say if the city comes by and says, oh, this is actually requires a permit, the state isn't going to see that contract, and is not going to make that guy do anything because he's not licensed. If anything, he's going to get in trouble. Okay, so owner builder exemptions. So this is why, if you ever come to go, if you ever hired somebody and they say, oh, um, we this does require a permit, but you can pull the permit. So the owner builder is allowed to do their own work. Okay, owner builder exemption 489-1037 allows property owners to act as their own contractors when building or improving a single family or duplex residence for their own use. So it's not for immediate sale or lease. Okay? So owners still must still comply with local permitting and code requirements. They may need to sign disclosure statements confirming that they understand the legal responsibilities of acting as a contractor. So what this does is it just allows, for my house, I can do work on my house, any scope. It doesn't matter. I'm the owner. I can do an owner builder. That doesn't mean that I can hire uh, Joe Schmo from Home Depot to, you know, close in my back patio, because now I'm hiring someone else. I'm hiring another contractor. That contractor needs to be licensed. The person that I hire needs to be licensed. I can perform the work, but um, that doesn't mean I can, this guy from Home Depot says, oh, yeah, we can do it. We can pull a permit. We just pull an owner builder permit. That's not how that works. When you need to be very cautious if somebody says that you, as the owner, needs to pull the permit, because that means that they don't have the ability to, because they're not licensed. Okay? And there's workarounds around that. That guy that gets work off of Facebook that doesn't have a license, he may have somebody that is pulling permits. And you need to be wary of that too. Make sure that if you hire somebody, that you're expecting them to be licensed by the state. And listen, they know, the people that are there to deceive you, they know that there's confusion here. So when someone is saying licensed, it means that they have a state certified or a registered contractor's license. That is not a business license. Okay? Tile guys and cabinet guys and painters and handymen doing those things um, are required to have business license. I have a business license. That's different from my contractor's license. You got to be clear, because they will try to deceive you and say that they are licensed and show you a business license thinking that that's okay. But it can get muddy, so let's keep going. Who else? Government and public utility exemptions. Government and public utilities, certain things don't have to have a license. Professional services exemptions. Licensed architect, engineers, or landscape architects performing work within their professional scope are not required to hold a separate license for contractors. So your engineer, he can come out and do the work. He says, "Yep, I can engineer this work. He can do the work, but he's not going to. He doesn't go out and do field work. Majority of the time, there are companies out there that do both. All right. So those guys don't have to be, boom, have to be licensed. So, okay, minor repairs. These are the things that don't, you can hire someone that doesn't have to be licensed. Okay? Minor repairs. Any work or operation of casual, minor, or inconsequential nature which the aggregate contract price for labor, materials, and all other items is less than $2,500, but this exemption does not apply if the construction, repair, remodeling, improvement is a part of a larger or major operation, whether undertaken by the same or a different contractor, in which a division of the operation is made in contracts an amount of less than $2,500. Basically, what this is saying is you can do minor repairs for under $2,500 and you don't have to be licensed. What those minor repairs for, it doesn't really say. You got to do some search, but um, it says right here, minor, casual, minor, and inconsequential nature in which the aggregate contract price is $2,500 or less. Then, boom. Now that includes if the homeowner says, "Oh, you buy the materials for $2,000 and only charge me one, and I'm only going to charge you 1,000." Doesn't work like that. It means even if the homeowner's paying for $2,000 of work of material from Home Depot, and then the the person that you're hiring charges 1,000, that's still $3,000. Doesn't matter who's it's. It includes any materials that the homeowner buys. Okay, this doesn't apply to. Okay, and what this also says too is if you can't just do a whole bunch of little $2,500 jobs. Oh well, I only did the painting and it was $500. Oh well, I'm only gonna then I'm only doing the drywall work, which is $1,000. You know, or and then I'm only doing the electrical work, which is 25, which is less than it's just $1,000. You can't just individual. It's the scope of the grander thing. Okay, $2,500. And again, we're not saying that you have to hire licensed people to do the work at your house. I'm not saying. I've been in this business a long time. There are some very good people out there that aren't licensed that do really great work. What I am saying is that if problems arise and they're doing work that this section of the law says there could be ramifications and you're losing our protections. All right. So this doesn't apply to a person who advertises that he or she is a contractor or otherwise represents that he or she is qualified to engage in contracting. So guess what? So those little people that are doing $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 less for the minor repairs, they're not allowed to advertise. They're not allowed to put posts on Facebook or Google. They are breaking the law if they're not licensed. This is this is another reason why it kind of burns me a little bit. You see all these people on Facebook. There's a difference between your neighbor saying, "Oh yeah, my brother is an electrician. He can swap out those outlets or he can add that charger or whatever." Is that work required to be licensed and have a permit and own? Yes. But that's different because my neighbor's brother isn't out soliciting work. You know what I'm saying? So there's reasons why. So when you because when you're soliciting work, the state has laws and that requires you to uphold certain things. You know, they make sure that let's just for me for existence, for example, when I got licensed, they wanted to check my financials. They checked my background. They made sure that I took tests on the Florida insurance laws and workers' comp laws and licensing laws and scope laws so I know what I'm doing. Those are the things that the tradesman doesn't know about or isn't aware of. So it's not like they're even trying to do something, illegal. They just don't know. So if you're advertising that you do contracting work, you should be licensed. And if you're seeing posts on Facebook, those contractors should be licensed. All right. So that's who's exempt. Let's see who needs to be. Okay. And then I wanted to show you here. Let's go back up just real quick. Here is the exemptions, list of exemptions, and this is how the law reads. Very confusing. So I get it why it's hard. So here's all the things. Okay? Here's all the exemptions. So you can go there. All right. All right, let's keep going here. All right. Who needs to be licensed? Section 113. A person must be certified or registered in order to engage in the business of contracting in the state. However, for purposes of complying with the provisions of this chapter, a subcontractor who is not certified or registered may perform construction work under the supervision of a person who is certified or registered, provided that the work is within the scope of the supervising contractor's licenses. The supervising contractor is responsible for the work, and the subcontractor being supervised is not engaged in construction work that would require a license as a contractor in the state. So here, this is what this means. So this is how you get into a situation where, um, let's say, if I'm building a large um, a large construction project. Let's say I'm building a high rise or a shopping mall, and I'm the general contractor. I'm allowed to hire subcontractors to complete my scope of work, right? Those subcontractors do not have to be licensed by the state to do that work because for two reasons. One, I'm overseeing their work and quality and saying that it's good because it's under my license. So that work being done is still being done under a license, just not that not the subcontractor's license, the general contractor's license. And two, the person that's subcontracting isn't dealing with the public, right? The developer is paying the general contractor. Okay, so the general contractor is paying the subcontractor. So that subcontractor isn't dealing directly with the public. That's important. So now, because that subcontractor hasn't had any requirements or verifications or met the qualifications to do work directly for the public. Okay? But here's the thing. That same subcontractor that's pouring the concrete, let's just say pouring the concrete or framing the walls, then who has a license or has a business license and can do that work, right? Because he's being hired, then goes out and does work for the public, thinking that it's okay. But it's not, because that unlicensed contractor that is allowed to subcontract cannot work directly with the public because he doesn't understand or hasn't been tested or verified that he understands the laws that are required with working with the public, the insurance laws, the workers' comp laws, the OSHA regulations, the financial requirements and things. So just want you to know that. So that's how, and it's kind of like a gray area, right? So you're telling me that if I set up a company that does drywall, right? I'm a drywall contractor. I can work for general contractors, right? Do all this huge work, build thousands of houses, right? I'm doing all this work, but I can't work directly for the public. It's so you can see why the misconception is. And yeah, can they do it? Can they do the work? Yeah. But have they been verified? Do they know the laws that are required to deal with the public? No, they don't. All right. I hope I understood all that. Contractor. A contractor. So here's what it is. If you're a contractor, if you do these things, you have to be licensed. Contractor means the person who is qualified for and is only responsible for the project. Contractor for that means, except as exempt in this part, the person who, for compensation, undertakes to, you got to be licensed to submit a bid, do the work, repair, alter, remodel, add or demolish, subtract from, or improve any building or structure. So if you're doing the construction, the repair, remodel, adding to, demolishing, subtracting from, or improving any building, you're considered a contractor, right? If you're doing any part of those, you're considered a contractor. And if you're a contractor, you have to be licensed. Okay? Let's see how long have I been on? Because I don't want to go too long. I don't even know how do I even see. Let's see here. Hope you guys are having fun. Probably not. Because I probably in the weeds. Oh, 25 minutes. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up. Um, all right, so boom. Okay, why hiring a licensed contractor? Don't get screwed. 489 128. Contracts hired into by unlicensed contractors are unenforceable. So if you hire someone to do work at your house and it's worth more than $2,500, doesn't matter what it is. Or if you're hiring someone to do a $500 job and that work is required to be licensed, and you hire an unlicensed contractor, that guy screws you over, that contract is unenforceable. Okay? For purposes of this section, an individual is unlicensed if the individual does not have a license required by this part of the concerning the scope of the work to be performed by the contract. A business organization is unlicensed if the business organization does not have a primary or secondary qualifying agent in accordance with this part of the scope being performed under the contract. For purposes of this section, if a state license is not required for the scope of work to be performed under the contract, the individual performing that work is not considered unlicensed. Okay? You can get screwed. Okay, here's some key reasons. Okay, qualifications for practice restrictions. Oh, come on. All right. Okay, so the state makes sure that these persons are qualified. Okay? They take examinations, they provide penalties, they make sure that there's responsible, okay? Responsibilities. A qualifying agent is primarily qualifying. A qualifying agent is a primary qualifying agent unless he or she is not secondary. All primary qualifying agents. Look, I think I might be going about this the wrong way. I really just want to train people, or not train people. I want to educate. I don't care what people do, but I want people to, if they do want to do the right thing and they do want to find good contractors, I want to show them how or why. Okay? And the main thing is why hiring someone licensed is there's a Florida Homeowners Recovery Fund. Okay? And that fund says that if a licensed contractor screws you over, the state will help you make sure that one, the contract gets met, or two, help you pay for it. All right? And then I think that's it. I'm going to shut this down now. I've been going at it for almost 30 minutes. All right, so there's that. And then on the next video, I'm going to talk about how to check if someone is, um, how to check if someone is licensed. There's a state website. You guys can look it up now. It's myfloridalicense.com, or just do a Google search how to find a license. But that doesn't matter if you've got people out there saying, "Oh, I don't need a license to do this work." That's different. And there are a lot of really good small 1 and 2 person companies out there that do really good work that are licensed, and they do not charge an arm and a leg. Um, because I'll tell you, the people that aren't licensed, they're charging just as much because all the information's out there. Um, people know what other people are charging, and they know what they can get. Um, because there's companies out there that are charging. If you call a company like one of the big guys, and let's see the big air conditioning companies, they might charge, you know, who knows what, twice as much for the same job a smaller company can um, do it for. But that doesn't mean that um, that they're taking advantage. That's probably the cost of running a large business. There's a lot that goes into it, because you got to have managers, and you got to have permit people, you got to have people that just do customer service. You got to have people that just go by and look at the work. You got to have huge insurance policy. You got all these trucks on the roads. It's expensive. Those companies do not take advantage of people just because they charge a lot, um, because they provide services. And at least they're licensed and they know the laws, and they're not going to not do something. They're not going to. If I know I'm not going to get screwed over, if I've gotten screwed over in the past by somebody that's unlicensed, I'm not gonna care what I'm gonna pay next time. I just want it done right. So those larger companies make sure they take care of their customers, and it's a lot because they warranty. They come back out and they change it out or whatever it is. That costs money. And a smaller company doesn't have those costs, so they can do things less expensive. So I just wanted to get this out there. I know this that the construction laws on who needs to be licensed is in the weeds, but the key things to take apart from this is, one, just know that there are license requirements. Two, just keep that $2,500 rule in thumb. And three, if it's just minor cosmetics, tile, cabinets, paint, stuff like that, doesn't need to be licensed. Anything other than that, concrete, block, stucco, drywall, uh, framing, uh, any of the plumbing, electric, AC, structural stuff, all needs to be licensed. Roofing. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later. Thank you. Have a good one. And bye-bye now.